everyone, good morning. You're watching Market Fatafat on ET Now, the show where we wrap up all the big movers and shakers in trade. I'm Mubina Kabasi. Quick look at what the market is up to currently. And remember that yesterday we snapped that 6 days of gaining. Let's see what we are up to today. And it looks like the losses seem to be extending. Though, mind you, it's a bit limited at this point of time. We're just down by approximately 0.2%. So nothing much happening on the market. Sensex as well is down by just 43 odd points. But interesting to note that the small cap index is still resilient. Again, very small quantum. So I think all in all, we can summarize the market action so far as well, pretty much boring. The mid cap index, however, is taking it on the chin. It's down by 1/3%. It's Yes Bank leading the losses. DRL down 2%. Tata Steel snapping that gaining momentum as down 1.8%. But on the flip side, you do have a couple of gainers, and that is essentially being highlighted by Titan, 2.5% higher. Kotak, Maruti and ICICI Bank as well are gaining very smartly in trade today. So that's essentially the market action. If I have to look at it and break it down sectorally, the PSU banking index is yet again the biggest sectoral loser, more than 2% gone. But realty and auto are managing to hold on. But the show is, of course, all about identifying all of these individual stocks and what's causing them to buzz in trade. So let's bring on board our research analysts. We are joined by Soumya and Varun from the research team. And to flag off the technical move seen in individual stocks, we have with us Vikas Jain of Reliance Securities. Good morning to all of you. And let's start off with the very first newsmaker of today, and that's DHFL. The stock has been down. It's down by approximately 3.7%. This after this crisis-ridden non-banking financial company reported a fresh case of a default of 197 crore rupees on bond repayment obligation. This default is towards principal and interest on certain NCDs, which were approximately worth 350 crores that were issued by DHFL. And this is something that it reported yesterday in an exchange filing. Stock price, unsurprisingly, under pressure, now at 49 rupees. Vikas, one can't ignore the move seen in Venky's. It's continuing to continue its recovery, its bounce that we've been seeing in the last couple of trading sessions. Do you think this can continue from here on as well?
And if you look at the slide, was also been pretty sharp, and the move is also been pretty high. We've witnessed a sharp move in the past few days, but multiple resistances on the big charts near those 1740, 1780 levels would cap the upside. We believe one should put on and exit on rallies near to those 1740 to 1780 odd, as the stock could face multiple resistances.
All right, that's Venky's for you, 2.3% higher, but Vikas believes you should consider exiting the stock on rallies. All right, stock number 3 then, and Soumya, Glenmark, CLSA has a sell rating on this one. What's the reason?
Well, yes, and that's particularly the reason why we are seeing the stock under pressure. Well, they say that the company has a negative free cash flow generation, and in fact, the cumulative debt stands at 7,000 crore rupees, which would be due by FY22. Not just that, the company is under the process of reorganizing its company into 3 entities, out of which they'll be raising funds for 2 of the entities. And now, apart from this, they say that there's significant margin pressure for Glenmark, given the fact that they had really muted revenue growth even this quarter, and the performance was also on the profit line. Also, we saw a sharp crack even in Q1 FY20 results, and hence they're maintaining their sell stance with an unchanged target price of 350 rupees per share.
Okay, Glenmark now down 4% at 366 on CLSA sell rating. Varun, OBC, today, of course, PSU banks are all overall under pressure. So unsurprising to note this one too finds itself losing in trade.
OBC is the bank that's supposed to merge with PNB and United Bank. Now, I'll talk about PNB later because it's also under pressure today on a rating downgrade. But OBC's care rating has basically been revised on the long-term bonds for Tier 1 and 2 bonds from stable to under credit watch, citing developments. Now, this is in view of the upcoming merger. We'll have to, look at how the banks are amalgamated and what the different shareholding is and where the strengths for each bank will lie. Also, recently, ahead of this merger with PNB, OBC has been coming out with fraud. Has been cleaning his shit on the fraud. So there seems to be with Gitanjali Gems and also with Nirav Modi. So the totals for these will also keep coming up, and hence some downward pressure on the stock today.
Okay, that's OBC for you. The CARE has revised the outlook from stable to under credit watch, stock under pressure. But here is an ET Now exclusive. Stock number 5 is Bharti Airtel, as the company is in fundraising mode yet again. And this will be for investing in the business and, of course, fighting our rival Rel Jio. Remember, Rel Jio has already monetized its optic fiber assets via an InvIT. Let's see what Airtel is going to do now. We have Nayantara Rai with that story.
ET Now are exclusively picking up that Bharti Airtel is planning yet another fundraise after the applaud and that massive rights issue. This time round, it's going to be an InvIT of more than $2 billion to monetize its pan-India optic fiber. Now, Bharti Airtel was initially planning to do this in a joint venture with Vodafone Idea. The talks have been on at the levels of the principal promoters, Sunil Mittal and Kumar Mangalam Birla. But we have been told by sources it's just in fructify because very soon after that we started seeing Vodafone Idea go through financial stress, if I could call it that, and therefore Vodafone Idea's fund requirements are far more urgent and far more different than Bharti Airtel. Bharti Airtel planning the InvIT on its own. What's interesting to note and something the markets will want to know, watch out for, this fundraise will not be to deleverage. Bharti Airtel's debt position manageable at the moment. Remember, it has been going through a lot of fundraise exercises, like I was just pointing out. This is a pure play, perhaps capex expansion, invest in the business, stay relevant, take on the mighty Rel Jio, and that's why it is planning this InvIT. Feelers have been sent to investment bankers as well, should be appointed soon. Of course, I reached out to Bharti Airtel with a detailed query. The company has not responded.
A lot for that. So Bharti Airtel is yet again in fundraising mode. $2 billion, and this from its optic fiber business, a move similar to Rel Jio. But on to yet another ET Now exclusive, and this one is on the Air India stake sale. It looks like the final contours of a bid will be available soon. The EoI as well, it will essentially enable a clean bid. This is a new EoI for Air India. We have Ruchi Bhatia with those exclusive details. Ruchi, what's the government going to do now to essentially lure investors for this asset that it has put on the block for the last, I think, 2 to 3 years, but not really received much interest? Okay, unfortunately that line got disconnected. We'll just try and reconnect with Ruchi very soon. But for now, let's just get back to Market Fatafat. Jindal Steel is a stock that we want to flag off. Remember, like all other steel companies, this one was managing to gain very smartly. We had seen a massive uptick come by to beyond 110 rupees as well for the steel major because of the rally that we saw in the last 2-3 trading sessions. Today, however, it's under pressure. Now, HSBC believes that a fair target price for JSPL could be 180, while Citi believes the target could be 188 rupees. So significant upside potential is what they see for JSPL from here on. They've analyzed the annual report, Citi that is, and they believe that there is strong operating cash flow possible. They open a positive catalyst watch as well on the stock. And of course, not to mention new PPAs, that as well could lead to stock outperformance. But the stock, like I said, is snapping that gaining momentum. It's down by more than 1% in trade. Okay, moving on. Vikas, Jubilant Life, this stock as well is something that has seen a bit of a bounce come by. Today as well, that continues. It's at 511. Do you believe this will continue?
Yeah, the stock is being poised for an up move further because if you look at this longer term structure, the stock has bounced from its 61.8% retracement of 440 of the entire move. We believe the up move will continue to further and we could see 585 to 590 odd levels over the next few months because it has seen a consistent up move and the ledger follow-up will follow through.
All right, that's Jubilant Life, and Vikas does remain positive on this stock. Okay, I think we've been able to reconnect with Ruchi Bhatia. And Ruchi, what's the latest update when it comes to the Air India stake sale, which the government has been trying to, go through with for the last couple of months or years maybe?
The line got dropped.
Okay, I don't think we have Ruchi with us on the phone clearly, as you could see from those visuals. All right, let's move on. Soumya, Madison Sumi, big upgrade from Goldman. What's the stock reaction?
Stock to buy stance with a target price of 121 rupees per share. Well, this is after the stock has corrected after the recent downtick that it has seen, and they believe that the solid order book is going to definitely give support to both the top line and the bottom line, and hence this upgrade from Goldman, which is keeping the stock higher in trade.
Okay, 2.7% higher, and it's firmly above 105 rupees. Take a quick look at the RWI small case, see what that one's up to at this point. And remember, market is weak. Are we looking at a similar weakness in that in the RWI small case as well? Well, it's just about gaining 0.2% at 524 roughly is where we are seeing at. So just like the rest of the markets, a very limited move seen on the RWI small case as well. And today on the Money Show, here's what we have lined up. Yet another power-packed show. We are going to tell you about why you need to file your advance taxes. Because do remember that in 2 days, you're going to have your advance tax installment deadline. So that's what we'll be talking about on the Money Show. Also, we are going to be talking about how the rich are spending their money and investing their money in a very interesting conversation with one of the biggest rich list researchers, Hurun India's MD. All of this lined up today on The Money Show. Welcome back. You're watching Market Fatafat on ET. Now let's continue with the countdown of movers and shakers. Varun, along with OBC, even PNB now has been placed under ratings watch.
Exactly, Mubina, as you said. So PNB now also falls under credit watch versus negative earlier, which wasn't that great anyway. Now you have this bank amalgamating with OBC. PNB obviously was the origination of the Nirav Modi case, which happened long back. Now OBC recently, like a week ago, said there's a small amount, like 290 crores worth of loans that will come as a default from Nirav Modi and another Gitanjali Gems company. So with the amalgamation at hand, in any case, the street is a bit uptight about how all these banks will be merged and how the shareholding will look post. These two banks coming under credit watch within a week of the finalization of these possible amalgamations is resulting in downward pressure on the stock again.
Okay, that it is, 0.8% gone. Well, moving on and talking about another stock in focus, L&T, which has, of course, been on an order-winning streak. It did announce that it has procured significant orders in two states, Maharashtra and Odisha, and the values of the orders were in the range of 1,000 to 2,500 crore rupees. Yesterday as well, the construction arm won quite a meaty order, so it's amping up its order book. Execution, of course, remains key. Remember, L&T had maintained its order book guidance as well for FY20. This is, of course, another win for it, another arrow in its basket, if you could call it that. Okay, let's move on. And Vikas, Wockhardt has seen a big move come by recently. It has certainly been it's seen double-digit gains, in fact, even so in the last 2-3 trading sessions. What's your view here?
If you look at in this chart and mid-cap, the Wockhardt has been the highest gainer. The stock has moved up consecutively for the past few days. But on the higher side, multiple averages near to this 100-day average and resisted. So one should book profits at current levels and wait for some decline.
All right, that's Wockhardt for you. Suggest to book profits and wait for declines when it comes to the stock. Soumya, SBI Life, what's been the response to its OFS?
Well, that's a very overwhelming response to the OFS by non-retail investors who subscribed to it and the demand was at 2.7 times the overall OFS. So now it's not just that we have the OFS opening for the retail investors today. Now you need to focus that SBI Life is one of the major and better players in the entire life insurance space with the highest market share, and this definitely does reflect in the OFS, which has been subscribed well by the investors.
803 for SBI Life as we speak, and not bad, 2.7 times demand for the OFS. Okay, Varun, PR Industries, what's the news trigger here?
Now, the stock has been on an uptrend recently anyway, and it's a really quality name, and the agrochemical cycle is seeing a huge upswing in India right now. But barring that, I think today's move might be about an acquisition that they've announced for Agro Asia. Now, Agro is an agrochemical contract manufacturing player. The total value for the transaction stands at around 345 crores net of debt and cash. So I think that is what the up move today is about at PI.
Okay, 2.7% higher. Vikas, Oberoi Realty, what are you observing here? How do you expect the stock to move based on the technicals?
View has been pretty positive, but the stock has also good support and bounce from its 200-day average of 510 level. As the move has been pretty sharp, so we believe one should book profits and wait to enter near to those 530, 540 odd levels.
Right, that's the view on Oberoi. Soumya, Ajanta Pharma, what's the news over here?
Well, this one has received an approval for a drug which is used to treat high blood sugar, which is diabetes, and this definitely does reflect well as far as the financials is concerned, given the fact that in US it is not really a major player, and any drug which gets an approval which has sales of more than 5 million is considered decent as far as Ajanta Pharma is concerned. And right now, even though it's higher by 0.3%, it was at a day's high and was gaining close to about more than 1% but right now it's off the day's high.
Okay, but still gaining 0.3% higher, 1,050 for the pharma company. Another pharma stock in focus, Varun, Biocon. How important is this news for the company?
Well, you know, Biocon's a large company, but still I'd say it's significant news. So, license and supply agreement with China's Medical Systems Holdings for 3 generic formulations. Now, the overall market size is $0.8 billion or 5,600 crores. And they will develop, manufacture and supply these products. They won't be marketing them. So, I see significant revenue potential here for Biocon.
Off the day's high, flattish right now for the stock. But yeah, important news essentially coming in for the counter. Another pharma stock in focus, Vikas, Lupin. It's again flattish right now in trade at 758 rupees. How do you expect the stock to move from here on?
In the last 2 days, it has been trading flat. But if you look at the longer term frame, the medium term charts continue to look promising. It has made higher bottoms on its weekly and monthly charts. So the output remains positive. We believe on the higher side, it starts to eventually touch the 100-day average of 810, 802.
That's the word then on a Lupin. It's flattish in trade with a bit of a positive bias right now. Soumya, InfiBeam is one stock that does tend to see a lot of volatility, a lot of movement. However, of course, we do have some news in trade today. What's the trigger for InfiBeam?
Well, this one has sold and in fact separated its e-commerce business to Suvidha InfoServe, and as a result we're seeing this good amount of uptick coming in the stock. Apparently the company is wanting to focus and expand, and as a result of this entire process they have demerged and sold this e-commerce business to Suvidha InfoServe.
Okay, and finally Varun, Dr. Reddy's, it's a EIR for one of its facilities. How big is the facility? How important is it?
I think it's for 2 facilities, audit of formulations units at Devada and Vishakhapatnam. Now they got the EIR from US FDA indicating closure of the audit. From analysts, I understand that the revenue potential from these plants is around 10% and profitability is also around similar. So getting a green chit here is a major positive for the company.
Okay, 2% gone for DRL. With that, we're out of time, so we'll wrap it up. Varun, Vikas and Soumya, thank you for joining in. But folks, today as we'll kickstart Rise with India Prime Time, we will do so with the Money Show, and here's what we have lined up. In just 2 days, you'll have to pay the second installment of your advance tax. So figure out how are you going to calculate the advance tax. We'll help you why it's important to do so in the first edition of the Money Show. Also, Crisil and Amphi report talks about the power of compounding and how long-term investing will minimize the chances of negative return. And finally, how are the rich investing and spending their money? All of this on today's edition of the Money Show. Don't forget to tune in.